What's going on, everybody? This is KYREN Monteiro, man. Welcome to another episode of the KYREN Monteiro Show. This is episode number 7. Give yourself a round of applause. Appreciate y'all tuning in, man. Today, got a good friend of mine, good brother, just a good person in general, Tyson Rumple.
Hey.
He is a sales executive with the Chronicle-Tribune. For those who don't know what that is the local newspaper that's been around for probably 100 plus years.
I couldn't tell you for sure.
It's been around a long time. We know that. But Tyson is here, and we're going to have some talk with him. So, Tyson, what's going on, man? Round of applause for you being here, man.
Thanks for having me today. And, we've known each other for a long time.
Known each other for a long time, man. So, why don't you give a background on where you was born, how you was raised and came up, and, speed up until you working at the Chronicle-Tribune?
Life has been good. I grew up there in Sweetser, Indiana, and grew up going to Oak Hill, local, my whole life, really. Grew up in the same house on Main Street in Sweetser, and graduated from Oak Hill in 2007, and then went off to Indiana Wesleyan, and I graduated in 2012. I got a business administration degree, and in a nutshell, I really fell into loving restaurants, loving local businesses, and spent about 10 years in retail and management and developing local franchises and figuring out the ins and outs of, hard work and what it means to just commit yourself to local businesses.
Man, that's a tough job. Now speaking of local businesses and development, so you're the sales executive.
Yep.
With Chronicle-Tribune. So tell us about what that. I know what your job looks like, but for people who don't know what something like that in a company looks like, tell her how hard that is and describe what that's like.
You start out. They joke about the newspaper sales business being, here's a paper, go sell it, and you go door to door and you tell everybody, this is the prime marketing opportunity for you, and you go out and really almost knock door to door. But what I found in the last year, I started in April of last year, and what I found is that the community and the business leaders just want to team up with you and find that good balance of communicating what they're doing and how they want to serve the community with, a trusting newspaper that they know is putting them in good light and that they know is really just going to be a win-win for both of us.
Okay. Here in Marion, Indiana, in our city where we live and work at, there's been a new wave of entrepreneurship, especially within like the last 2 to 3 years. It seems like business owners, under the age of 50 are really starting to sprout up with just small business ideas. You being a sales executive with Chronicle, you have the pleasure of connecting with a lot of these business, such as, business owners like myself, who you've been extremely helpful within the last year of me opening my studio downtown here in Marion. What has that been like for you to see? Because you work with large businesses like hospitals all the way down to self-employed businesses with only one person. What is that like?
Yeah, I just want to say it's super encouraging to see the hardworking individuals behind those businesses day in and day out, whether it's a slow day or a busy day, or whether, they've got something brand new coming out and maybe it didn't work the first time. They are so persistent and they are so dedicated to their business. And that's been amazing just to see the individuals and their commitment to their business. But like you said, it's big business and small business. They're all trying to, just stay in front of the customer, and they're trying to stay connected with the customers. And my goal is just to communicate, whether it's sharing what's working for other businesses or giving new ideas to help them get that message out clearly.
Yeah, man, that's good. And everybody doesn't want to own a business, and I don't think business is for everybody. So, how would you encourage people who are working hard, going to jobs, setting goals? What would be, I don't want to say the common person because everybody's a human being, but to the everyday working person that's a non-business owner, what would be your advice in job promotions and setting life goals, college, like whatever, like what for that working adult, what would be your advice?
Yeah, I think surround yourself with people that care about you. Surround yourself with people that build you up and motivate you, and you'll go 10 times further. If you find yourself stuck in a rut and nobody's telling you good job, there's a million jobs out there, and all I can say is the moment somebody tells you good job, your whole attitude changes. And a lot of what I try to do is just giving people those high fives and good job for being a part of the community and being that business that we all want and that we all need. And if you're not hearing the high fives, and you need to rethink it. Yep. Yeah,
that's good advice. I'm gonna give the people a funny story. Me and you both worked at Lowe's. This was back in 2013, 2014. And we had some fun on the job. We was on the unload crew, unloading freight and appliances. But that was a lot of work for like $10-something an hour.
It was a lot. We always had to sit down afterwards, man. You unload a refrigerator on your back and you feel it the next day. So it's good that we only did that a couple days a week.
But I know that we seen more than that. I was doing stuff on the businesses on the side, but I still wasn't full-time or had accomplished things later. But we always seen a vision. So when it comes to people who, like I said, they don't want to be business owners, but they see themselves higher than where they are now, but they seem stuck. Why do you think the everyday working American feels stuck? Because there's so many people that feel stuck. And I'm gonna throw this in real quick. It's mental health awareness month here in May.
Yep.
Charity Bailey from the Economic Growth Council, she was on the previous episode, 2 episodes ago, and I asked her what employers could do to make work environments more of a healthy place, because you spend so much time at work, and if you go to work hating your job, your life is miserable. Yeah. If you spend at least 8 hours of every 5 days, 6 days, 7 days a week hating your job, that's miserable. Then you're getting off and you're tired. So anyways, like, how can workplaces become better for people? Because I feel like so many people hate their life because of where they work. That contributes a lot to that misery.
Hey, I just want to shout out to Heather Corporal. She's our circulation manager out of the Chronicle. It's her birthday today.
Okay.
And, little things like the other ladies, Rebecca and Shelley, brought in happy birthday banner, brought in cupcakes, and they do that every time it's somebody's birthday at the Chronicle. And little things like that go so far in just appreciating your workers and letting them know that you not only know their name, know it's their birthday, but you care about them. We always buy, a birthday card, and everybody signs it in the office. Those kind of things go so far, but it also goes the opposite when you don't do those things. And there's just so many businesses that have lost the sight of getting personal, and they're all about the job and getting it done, and they forget about the person behind it.
Especially here in Marion and in the Midwest period, there's the identity is manufacturing. factories and warehouse, and that's a cutthroat industry. And I feel like those industries have to do better jobs at creating culture within the organizations and valuing, because even if you have a job paying somebody $30 an hour, some of these places are working so hard and being treated bad in the process. It's like you could be making $1,000 an hour. At that point, the money is irrelevant because you're a human being.
Yeah.
And money, how much you pay somebody don't give you the right to disrespect them or treat them like they're less than. You know what I mean?
But I'll say, I think there's a shout out to be made, all the entrepreneurs and small business owners that have came out of that and said, I'm valued. I value myself enough to take the risk and start a business. And they were, excellent employees. And they decided to, treat themselves better. And just going into the fact that we do have so many young entrepreneurs nowadays, I think kind of came out of that era of not appreciating. And now they're appreciating themselves and taking that value in themselves, and they're investing in the community.
I think it's dope. Salute to all entrepreneurs anywhere who are stimulating the economy where they're at. Let's talk about sales. So you, as a sales executive and just a salesman, period, you don't own Chronicle, but you gotta wake up and hustle like you own it, right? If you don't sell ads and you don't get placements, then that's money that your family doesn't see. So what is that mentality of you waking up pretty much every day and having to go get it? You have to have that killer mentality in order to do something like what you do. Explain how your world is waking up.
Yeah, and I have to preface is everything needs to be a win-win. I mean, it can't all be about yourself. There are a dime a dozen salesmen out there that will sell you the best thing, and they're really ripping you off and taking every penny for themselves that they can, and they don't care about that thing that they just sold you. I care about every ad that goes in the paper and making sure that the message is clear, that it's the quality, that I'm getting the proof, from the customer that they approve it before it goes out. Those kind of things is all about having that win-win mentality of taking care of the customer. So I think that you have to be a go-getter. You have to get up every day and say, I'm going to do my job and do it the best I can. But you also have to just care about people. The best car salesman is the guy that gets, the entire family referred to him over the course of a few years because they enjoyed working with him so well. Same thing with the Chronicle. Everybody's sharing my name and my contact information, with the other local business owners because they had a good experience. So, I think the hustle comes down to caring about individuals.
Yeah, man, that's real. Tyson is a great example of adding value. Price is what you pay for, but value is when it means something to you. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? You can just pay for anything and not have meaning, but value is when you care about that experience and when it's more than just paying for a service. Tyson definitely stands behind what he says. You were at my grand opening April 23rd last year, just past a year. I've been in the newspaper twice since then, and then here this year in February in 2022, we did the front page, and then I did a full page ad with you during Black History Month. And adding that kind of value and how you care about businesses and people in Marion is what's needed. For parents, what do we as parents need to expose our kids to so that they can be better off than what we are? Because I feel like our age group, we were taught things, but I feel like there's a lot of things we're in our 30s. Yeah. I'll turn 32 next week, and I'm just like, I wish I would have had access to A, B, C, D.
Yeah.
what can we as parents do to try to speed up the process of our kids being exposed to more knowledge and opportunities?
I mean, I think every parent's at a different level, and every parent has their own experiences that they can play on. For me, I look at the things that I've learned and became good at, and I jumpstart by just buying the things or providing the services that I wish I had as a kid. I know I hit you up at Christmas time and said, hey, how's the best way I can get my kids involved with music? And I ended up getting a drum set and a software that they could start learning and just playing with sounds. And they're young. I mean, they're not like every day playing that thing, but it's the investment that the parent has to be willing to put in to give them the tools to play around.
Yeah.
To learn for themselves. We always joke about we wish we had those things as a kid. Well, be a parent and invest in your kids. Give them the tools.
Yeah, I think that's real important to sow those seeds. Even on this show, social media conversations, I always try to get my dad, who passed away in 2009. I always give him his praise because I'm not sitting here in this studio right now if it wasn't for him.
Yeah.
And that investment. And he easily could have shooed me away when he was working on music. He could have found me quite annoying, honestly, and irritating because I always was bugging him, asking him questions. But since I already played drums, he poured into me. Mm-hmm. And so I think as parents it's really important to do that. Like my daughter always sings. At school, she's singing. At the house, Disney, plus stuff, Trolls. I mean, Frozen, like all of these things she's always singing. And sometimes it's loud. And me and my wife at times I just want to be like, you wish you could just yell, like, shut up. Right? But you can't. You can't. And I can't mute her because that one slip up of discouragement could be the end of her ever wanting to sing again.
My Henry is 6, and he wants to be parkour. I mean, he is flipping over everything he can, climbing on everything he can. And as much as you want to tell him, don't do that, you're going to break something, like break your arm or something. You can't hold him back because he's learning and he's growing. And who knows? Maybe one day he'll start doing backflips on his own. I don't know.
Yeah, I find myself doing that, not wanting my daughter to do certain things. And I think, the way my mom and dad raised me, I'm thankful for it, good or bad. My mom was young. My mom had me as a teenager, so she didn't get everything right at first. And then I think later in life, she grew. We always I was the oldest, of 5, so we were growing together. And so I find myself at times applying some of those same identical things. That was for me, but my daughter is totally different than me. Mm-hmm. My daughter's autistic, and she has a totally different personality, super sassy at times. But I just find myself as a parent having to change the wheel a little bit, not because it was bad, but because it's different. You know what I mean? So I think that as parents, you got to pivot in real time. Yeah. You know what I mean? And it's an on the day job. Every day is another journey. Before we wrap up, man, I gotta talk about our city, Marion, Indiana, and I gotta talk about innovation that's in the air. Once again, we live in a small city that is known for manufacturing, blue collar kind of town. The arts haven't done well here. Creative entrepreneurship doesn't really do well here. But slowly but surely, it feels like Marion has an urge to change. Not everybody, but it feels like you can see in that 18 to 40 age group. I would even say 18 to 50. Because I don't care what nobody said. 50 is still young.
50 is still young, yeah.
If somebody passes away at 50, you'd be like, man, they was only 50. Mm-hmm. 50 is still young. Yeah. But it seems like 18 to 50, like there's this urgency of wanting change. Now, I don't know if the urgency translates to execution, because that's when you really want to do something, is when you actually get up and do it. But people want change. So let's talk about innovation. Like, from what you see, what are some things in Marion that needs to happen to really move forward and be the best that it can be as a small city?
Yeah, I think communication is key to any small business, any entrepreneur that's starting to think about doing anything. Make sure that you are listening to your customers and hearing what they want. You know, you can put anything out there, but if nobody's buying it, then you're wasting your time. I mean, that's just the reality of it. And so, you know, I think the key is definitely trying to serve the community in a way that not only is what you want, but is what they want as well. So don't go spending millions on your big idea for Marion. Find out what Marion needs. Find out what Marion wants.
If you want to waste millions, come holler at me.
Yeah.
Tyson said, "Come holler at me." Y'all want to waste millions. That's great advice. What about for like non-business owners, just people in general? What can a community do to bring more progression and innovation to the city? I mean, because it takes more than business owners and leadership. It takes everybody in the community collectively to make this a better city.
Absolutely. And I think it takes leadership as well. I think that, you know, as leaders, we need to be reaching out and asking people to join us in our movements and what we're building. But as the general public, I think they need to be more willing to give feedback, be more willing to say, you know, you come into a shop for the first time, I like this, but I was really looking for that. And tell the owner, tell the manager what you really were looking for, you know, because they don't know. And a lot of times what I'm seeing too is a lot of times people go and try something and it wasn't exactly what they wanted, and then they never go back, you know. And I think in order to make Marion what we want Marion to be, we have to give that feedback.
Yeah, that's great, man. Last question. Is Tyson Rumple, do we see you getting into business ownership and entrepreneurship one day?
I think so, but not anytime soon. You know, while my kids are young and while I'm able to serve the community the way I am with the newspaper, I love it. I wouldn't change a thing. And my goal is to make sure that the newspaper is thriving day in, day out, making sure that the community is coming together, communicating the way they need to. So I'm always looking for opportunities to do that together. And if I see a need that needs to happen, I'll do that. But I never want to do anything just for Tyson Rumple. I want to do something for the town of Marion and for the community.
All right, man. Look, man, round of applause for Mr. Tyson Rumple coming and dropping those gems. As always, man, you know, I appreciate you. If you are in Marion, Indiana, or in Grant County, Indiana, make sure that you support the Chronicle-Tribune, pick up newspapers. They can subscribe online. How do they do that? What?
Yeah, there's a link right on the homepage. Just click to subscribe and fill out the information.
So yeah, go to the local stores or go to Chronicle-Tribune's website and subscribe to that. I've been in there. It's been a blessing. I did an ad with Tyson. He looked out for me, and they got some good reporters over there. And it's not always bad in there. There's positive things as well. There's not always who's getting locked up, what drug bust, what murder case. There are good productive things in people. And
we're really listening to our readers and our audience. We want to know what you want, and we want to know that we're providing, you know, the news the way that you need it. So reach out anytime.
All right, man. KYREN Monteiro, we signing off.